Whether you're a lifelong keeper or just getting started, help us encourage responsible keeping, conservation, and public education in the interest of keeping our reptiles safe and healthy as we protect them for future generations. You're invited to spend time with us as we experience these awesome animals together on Intrepid Exotics. Hello, everybody. How are you doing tonight? We've made it through another week somehow. There's the banner. See, I remembered this time. Hope everybody has had an awesome week. Oh, we got Erica. How you doing tonight? Good to see you, Erica and Tarzan. Ray, good to see you. Glad you made it too, sir. Nicole, good to see our regulars popping in. And we'll sit here and just kind of chew the fat for a second, give everybody a little bit of a chance to wander in. It's been kind of nice. The temperature's starting to go down now. We're not out there completely cooking now, so it's always a double-edged sword out here in North Carolina. During the wintertime, we're jonesing the whole time to get our snakes back outside, start taking them out and letting them get some sun. And then about the time midsummer gets here and we're just out there roasting, and it's really too hot to take them outside anyway, a lot of the time. And then we're waiting for fall, and it's like, oh my God, I gotta hurry up and get these guys outside as much as I can before it gets too cold and they got to spend the rest of the year indoors. So, but did manage to get Monty outside for a little bit today. Got a couple pictures of her and took some video. I'll go ahead and play that video here in a second just so you guys can kind of see what she was like out there. No, she was having a good day. I just finished about 15 minutes ago feeding. So I had to go down and feed and clean everybody today, get everything done, because tomorrow is going to be another trip to the Sylvan Heights Bird Park out by the coast. So last time I went there with the older camera. And now that I've got the R5 here, I want to go out there and really start putting some stuff together. Now, you guys may have seen the wildlife video. I put it as like a little 11-minute piece where I just put together some old footage and some of the pictures that I've gotten so far. And I mean, it came out pretty good. It's not, it's not all top-notch stuff, but I think for a first trial run for like a nature documentary type setup, it came out okay. I've been kind of meditating on that and looking at all the mistakes and everything that I can do better in it, so that the next time around we can have some really like to produce some stellar stuff. And it's all going to translate over into this too. You'll see the video I got today of Monty was really pretty good. Pretty happy with how most of it turned out. Kenneth, how are ya? Oh, really? But you guys are still cooking out there, huh? Tara was saying she's following Amy Benzie's Green Tree. I'll have to check that out. I have spent like zero time. I mean, sitting in front of the computer outside of editing and stuff like that. So I probably got some stuff to catch up on. Smay, how you doing, man? Good to see ya. Oh yeah, I certainly remember what it was like. I'm really glad I don't have reptiles out in Arizona in the summertime, because man, you just couldn't put them on the ground; they'd cook. Yeah, I don't know what I did earlier. I guess scraped my hand cleaning enclosures or something like that. So I'm gonna sit here and bleed all over the place, I guess. Martin, how you doing? I had a former coworker named Martin. So every time I see that, I just completely. Hey, How are you doing? Good to see ya. Okay. What was I looking for here? I didn't edit up those videos, but I do have a couple good ones of Monty I'm going to put up real quick. Let's see. Hey, Kara, how you doing? I need to put the Amazon Associate link up for this thing because that is a pretty common question. I got it off Amazon. I will do my best to get the if I don't remember, catch me on Facebook and send me a message there. Say, hey man, where's the link for the mug? And I'll definitely get it to you. So things have been pretty hectic here. I'll need reminders on stuff like that. So actually in the process right now of looking for a new day job, as lost the old one last week, earlier this week, actually. So that came as a surprise. A couple of unexpected hurdles come from that. But with everything like that happens, there's an opportunity that it presents. So that is what I'm focusing on, is whatever new opportunities are going to present themselves because of that. Really hoping to get out of the photography studio. And just like Nikki says here, I'm working on it. Like I said, tomorrow is going to be a lot of photography and videography out at that exotic bird park. So that should be pretty good. We're working on it, man. There's so much to learn. I always thought, all the years before I really started messing with it, that how hard can it be? You pick up the camera, you hit the button. No. There's a lot to learn, and I still it helps that I'm really critical of my own work. So we're going to continue to get that stuff better as we go. Oh, cool. Awesome. Yeah. The merch shop is all down underneath the all of the videos and so forth. So let's see here. Oh, I've got this other video of Niles up. You guys all have to remind me. I don't remember. Did I go into a lot of detail on any of the last couple live streams about Niles and the bite and kind of how you mitigate monitor bites? Because that was something that I thought would be a good thing to talk about tonight. And I honestly don't remember if I've shown that video on live streams or not. So if you guys remember me doing that, jump down in the comments and let me know. And I will end up doing something else. Tara's brain is fried today. I'm right there with you. I've had so much stuff going on in my head here the last few days. It ranges everywhere from a really excited optimism to pure rage. And it just kind of cycles back and forth. So I'm working to find my balance. That's one thing I have found working in the civilian sector is there is little to no honor and integrity at all. And communication is dead. Yeah. I'm pretty upset about the whole deal with the job. I really don't like being lied to, and I really don't like working with people that don't have the spine to be honest. And so I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail about it, but it was a pretty frustrating situation. So I've been back and forth, waiting for things to kind of balance out. Like I said, I keep focusing on the positive, and we're just going to make a new opportunity out of it. So Outstanding. Well, welcome, Kara. Is it Kara or Kara? I'm not sure. I had the same hiccup with Tara's name because I was calling her Tara at first. She's like, no, it's Tara. I'm guessing you're Kara because there's only one R. So, hey, Alex, how you doing, man? Haha, there we go. Hey, Travis, how you doing? Okay, so yeah, let's I'm gonna probably try and get a bunch of stuff in here. I'll put up the stuff with Monty outside, some of the video that I got from there. But first, I'm gonna go ahead and play the video of Niles and talk a little bit about that. Let's see. Oh yeah, it is what it is. We things happen, we drive on. So it would be kind of nice if it would have happened about 4 or 5 months later, because then I would have probably been in a much better position to really just dive in and start building up this stuff. But if there's anybody who's been on the fence about jumping on the Patreon, now is the perfect time. A really huge influx of Patreon supporters would really make a huge difference right now. So if anybody's been on the fence, by all means, I get enough people on there, we'll really start devoting some time to it, and we'll just roll with that. But yeah. Yep. Doing good, Alex. Like I always say, we're doing good whether we want to or not. But I'm going to share this video. We had a lot of you guys that follow me on Facebook and that I talk with know that a few weeks ago, my 6-foot Nile monitor decided he was going to take a bite out of me. And I'm going to see if I can find. I took a really good shot of him today. Kind of shows his teeth. I'll show his face up here before we before we show that other one. Oh yeah. We actually hit a couple good benchmarks here lately. And that kind of helps add to the roller coaster too, because right around the time last week that the whole job thing happened, we hit 1 million views, we hit 10,000 subs, and I was out at Lake Jordan and physically saw my first bald eagle out in the wild. And it was a day that I was out there looking for him with the camera, and I got some decent pictures of him. He was so far away, and I was maxed out. This 150 to 600 mil lens on here, and so yeah, I was maxed out. I couldn't get any really sharp pictures of him. But expect a lot of good bald eagle stuff coming up over the next couple months, because it's my understanding that this particular area out there, in that region, there's like 25 nests, which equates to about 50 birds. And so a photographer that actually came down to the same spot where I was shooting at the other day said that he'll go down there in the fall, and there'll be like 10 or 20 of them just bouncing in between the trees and fishing and all that stuff. So should be able to get some really, really fantastic stuff. So anyway, so yeah, I'm kind of all over the place. So much stuff going on. Yep. Finally did it. Now we've got to shoot for the next goal is 100,000. So we'll see if next year at this time we can get it up that high, because I am going to be adding, like I said, I'll be putting some of the nature and wildlife stuff in here. I want that stuff to be really high quality and draw some attention. Maybe even draw in some people that aren't familiar with reptiles or that may have an interest, get them involved as well. So it'll be cool. Oh, but yeah, let me put this picture up. Hey, John, good to see you. Hey, thanks. Yeah, we was just talking about that. I was just getting ready to put that picture of Niles up in just a second because I'm going to go show the video of that bite and kind of talk over some of this stuff. I know it's not really going to apply to a lot of people because there's not many people that keep large monitors, and even less that keep large Nile monitors. And if you've got them and you've gotten them up to that age, you know, where they're 5-6 feet long, you've probably had a bite. You probably figured out how to deal with it. But anyway, it'd be something kind of cool to go over. Plus, it was kind of cool to get that bite actually recorded. So, but yeah, let's put this picture of this guy up there. So yeah, that was a picture that I'd gotten earlier today. Sitting up here, I was like, man, I've got all these bird pictures, and I really needed to start engaging with the reptiles and start getting some photos of them done up. So like I said, this is one of the ones I got today. It's kind of funny too, because like I said, you know, the photography thing being that much more complex than I had anticipated. The difference between photographing birds and editing the photos and stuff like that and doing the same thing with reptiles, it's kind of difficult. The same way that I edit the bird photos, I really can't do it here and still get it right. But yeah, you can see his teeth in here really well. So I've got that one, and there's another shot that I got of him. And of course, my big mug is in the way. So let's see if I can change this up again. Get my big mug out of the way. I don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. Oh well. But I haven't put together a layout for. It's not going to work really well either. Okay. But anyway. I'll just move that off to the side. There you go. You can see him a little bit better now. Yeah, I really wanted to catch that tongue coming out the side of his mouth like that. And you can see he's got the blood all over the side of his face from the quail that he was putting down. So let's see. Tara was asking, doesn't the sideways tongue mean something? Yep. There's a couple different things that tongue coming out the side of their mouth means. Regardless of their demeanor and disposition, every time, and this applies to most monitor lizards, tegus, and things like that, when they're eating, they'll lick the sides of their mouths and things like that. When they're not eating and you're interacting with them, when you see them doing this, it's a really good sign that they're content. They don't really do that if they're stressed. I mean, if they're stressed or agitated or defensive or something like that, they won't do that. There'll be those really sharp tongue flicks and things like that. So yeah, that's a good sign when you're handling them. It really doesn't mean much when they're eating, except that they're just licking their lips. But yeah, that was another good shout out, and I kind of like that one. So there we go. Can I get back? There we go. Oh yeah, Kara was saying that tongue is too long. And you know what's funny? We was out doing an event last year, I think it was, and one of the guys that was out there at the event with us brought a really, really big Asian water monitor out there, and I swear that thing had a tongue that was this long. And it was the most docile, well-behaved monitor you've ever seen in your life. And he had a sawhorse set up with a big piece of cork bark on it. And he just sat up there all day, never moved, never tried to get down, just chilling out, looking around and all that stuff. And he was right in front of me, staring me in the face. And I was standing there talking with somebody else. And I wasn't paying any attention at all. He came up and he got kind of close to my face. And he stuck that damn foot-long tongue out and stuck it all the way down my throat. Just about gagged me. So, yeah, you got to watch those guys. Another one of those things that I wish I would have gotten on video. Let's see. Yep, they are so much fun. Yeah, let me go over this real quick. Now, you guys, and again, I think at one point, I can't remember exactly when it was, but I think I did a video about bites, kind of showing the brave wilderness guy out there getting bit by a Nile monitor. And the way he was hooping and hollering and making all that racket and stuff like that. I think I had mentioned something that, yeah, they hurt, but they're not that bad. Let me share the screen real quick. Where's that? Is this it? There we go. So, yeah, this is... Now, a little backstory on this guy. For those of you guys that are new here, Niles here, I've had him since he was a hatchling. Got him when he was a baby. He's a Nile monitor. He's been a real challenge. But since he started to really mature, it's been about 2 years since he has really taken a shot at me. The first kind of serious bite that I took from him, I had went into his enclosure and I reached in and I just picked him up, didn't pay any attention to him really. I don't remember whether I was getting ready to take him outside or do something in his enclosure or something, but I picked him up, put him on my shoulder, and he turned around and bit me in the back of the neck. And he was only about 4 feet long at the time, but he hung on there for a good 2 or 3 minutes and just did not let go. So I'm sitting there with his monitor lizard stuck to the back of my neck. It's like he got my whole spine in his mouth. And just waiting for him to let go and trying to keep him from thrashing around as much as I could. Because their teeth, like you've seen in that one picture, I mean, they've got small teeth. But it works the same way a hacksaw does. You know, if you take a hacksaw and you push it down on your arm, it's going to leave little dents in there and so forth, but you're going to be okay. But even still with a hacksaw, if you drag it across, it'll open you right up. And it's the same thing with their teeth. So when they get a hold of you, it's really important that you stabilize their head the same way you would with a snake bite, as best you can. And I don't think he doesn't realize that my skin is so delicate. He really doesn't. And I wish he would, because you'll see here, this was just a normal interaction. And I think probably a big reason why he hasn't tagged me in the last couple of years is ever since he's gotten a hold of my neck, I've been really, really cautious and pay really close attention when I'm in there interacting with him, that I don't let myself get into a position where he can quickly get me. And I can still interact with him fairly comfortably when I do that. But this time, after a couple of years, I guess I started to trust him, started to let my guard down, and let's see what he does.
Really? Really?
So yeah, can you guys hear the audio on this okay? It should. The way I shared it, you should be able to hear the audio on it. But it was so funny. I came in there and I was just sitting there hanging out with him. So I got my cell phone out and I wanted to just film him interacting a little bit. And as soon as he got on film there, he decided it was time to take a bite. And if you guys can hear the audio, it just... Let me see if I can capture this again.
Really? Really?
You heard him twice getting a hold of me. And it was funny because after he let go, you could see 2 sets of teeth marks because he got a hold that first time. And then as soon as I put my hand down and started to get him down on the ground where I could control him, he adjusted and bit me again. And unfortunately, while all this is going on, this whole time, I set my phone down and I was kind of focused on getting him off of me without getting my arm shredded. And so I'm sitting there controlling his head the whole time, waiting for him, waiting for him to let go. I don't know if telling him to let go helped at all, but it made me feel better.
Niles, let go. Let go.
And anyway, he finally lets go of me. But see, I mean, I would do so bad at the whole brave wilderness type thing because I just can't bring myself to scream and holler and cry and things like that. I mean, it hurts when they get a hold of you, but I mean, that's expected. It's not that bad. It's not like they're ripping your arm off or something. But okay, so let's see. Yeah, here we go.
Okay. So the incident with Niles, he decided he wanted to take a bite out of me today. So that's what it looks like. It took me about, I don't know, a minute to get him off of me. But yeah, fun stuff. I'm supposed to show you. Never know with these guys. After a bad day, something happens.
So yeah, that was my. I think this is the second part.
You got a little bite from a 6-foot mile monitor. Looks like right after it happened. Went in this morning.
Yeah, as you can see, there's the first shot that he took, and then that was the second one after I got him down on the ground that you heard, and where he was adjusted. But it's not that bad.
Felt froggy.
See, that's what I mean. I mean, they don't have terribly huge teeth. So once they get a hold of you, they can only go in so far. I mean, I pretty much poke myself that bad when I'm testing my blood sugar.
So I just got it cleaned up, sprayed some Listerine in it and so forth. And you can see where he adjusted his mouth a couple times. They're trying to hang on. But,
so yeah, that was the ever so lovely Niles bite. But you manage those the same way you do a snake bite. If you got a big snake that gets a hold of you, and they've got, if you're talking about a reticulated python, for instance, they've got those 6 rows of recurved teeth, and once they go in, you can't rip them off of you because it'll shred you, it'll leave teeth, it'll rip teeth out of their mouth and things. So you just got to kind of manage them and hold that head still. And, if it's a bigger snake, you need to have somebody else there that can start unwrapping them. But there's a technique that I use both with snakes and with monitor lizards. And with snakes, when you get bit, a lot of times what you can do is, of course, you stabilize their head, you just hold it there, relax, don't scream and yell and cry, it's unnecessary. Just kind of bite your tongue and have somebody grab it from the tail and start unwrapping it, and then start to stretch them out on the floor as much as you can. A lot of times what happens is, if it's like a mistaken food response bite, then if they're stretched out on the ground and they're fully supported, they're not going to be trying to hang on. They're going to start to feel more exposed and less in control. Then a lot of times they'll go ahead and just release. And of course, there's a Garrett Hartle method that you can use too of chewing on their tail like a corn cob, not biting their tail off, but apparently that works. I've never used that technique before to get them to release. But the thing is that you still got to be able to maintain control of their head, because if they don't get over what it is that caused them to bite in the first place, they can release and then turn around and bite you again. So, but kind of the same thing with a monitor lizard. I was in there by myself. I didn't have anybody to help hold him. So the only option I've got in that case is to hold him right behind his jaws. I hold his neck and I put the pressure on the sides of his jaw. It's hard to describe. If you're choking somebody, you push right here, you can hurt them. You push on the sides, it's a lot better for them. So it's the same thing with the Nile monitor. You kind of put the pressure on the sides, and you just hold their neck there, and they're going to try and thrash and rip and tear and all that other stuff. And you just kind of hold them until they decide to release. And that's all I did with him. He finally decided to let go of me. And oddly enough, man, I guess not oddly enough, but when you're in a situation like that, it's a negative situation, negative experience for him. And I wish I would have had the whole thing recorded, because as soon as I got him to let go, he wanted to fight. I mean, it was like he backed up, curled his tail, looked at me with his mouth open, and he was just ready to go at it. So I just unasked the area of operations as quick as I could and left him alone and let him chill out. Been back in there several times, messing with him, feeding him, all that other stuff. It didn't really ruin the relationship that I've got with him. But it didn't help. But it's one of those things, man. With these guys, it can sometimes be, 2 steps forward and a step back. Hey, Megan, how you doing? Let me go ahead and catch up on the chat here real quick. Was I scared? Nah, I don't get scared about bites. I am more afraid before a bite happens than after it happens. If I see an animal that's acting off, then it's not necessarily fear. It's just a heightened sense of awareness and a heightened sense of caution, because I've been bitten by just about everything. So I know if I get bit, it's not going to be bad. I'm not going to die. So it's not necessarily a fear, but it's not pleasant. So you want to avoid it, of course. But yeah, Tara says I'm not the kind of milk drama. That is a fact. That is a fact. Even when I got to address drama, I address it, drop it, and drive on. So let's see. Oh. Oh, yeah, I skipped by that one. Yeah, most people would be pretty dramatic. I skipped by that one because I don't claim to be badass. My badass days are over. They're behind me. But yeah, John says, speaking of bites, I want to hear your reaction to the Jeff Leibowitz craziness when I get a chance. Oh, my God. I mean, I'm not surprised. I knew it was coming. Everybody knew it was coming. For those of you guys that aren't familiar with his jerk off, I think he actually doesn't live too far from me. He's out here in central North Carolina, I think, somewhere. And he is just some guy that does a lot of irresponsible handling with venomous snakes. You'll see him sitting there with rattlesnakes, just completely chill, letting them crawl up, get in his face, all this stuff. He does it with all kinds of venomous snakes. This one, everybody, of course, has been telling the guy, dude, you're an idiot. Don't do that. Well, I guess a few days ago, he got bitten by an inland taipan. And I don't fact check me on this, but I thought I had heard something about he was online asking if anybody had any antivenom for it. But yeah, he's turned into a meme, because when everybody tells you that something dumb is going to happen and you ignore them and tell them they're stupid, and then something dumb happens, that's just a meme waiting to happen. But I've seen a couple kind of unverified things on there about what may have happened to his collection. If anybody knows for sure, I'd be kind of curious. I've heard they've been confiscated or euthanized, or I don't know. Again, if anybody has a fact check they're confident in, go ahead and drop it. But yeah, hey, it's just another example, and it's a big reason why I don't keep venomous snakes, because I'm not 100% sure that over time I wouldn't get too comfortable as well and make mistakes. I mean, just like with Niles, I know that he's just got that kind of demeanor, and I let myself get comfortable with him, and he got a hold of me. It happens. We're only human. We think we're building these great relationships, and sometimes some animals don't quite see it that way for one reason or another. And if you're dealing with a venomous animal, it can really get you in trouble. So yeah, and by the way, I wanted to point out too, if you guys aren't following John, Tipping Scales, that I've got up here right now, he's on YouTube. Go check out his channel. He does some really good work. He's another person that touches on some of the more sensitive topics, and he does it a little bit better than I do. He's a little bit more, what's the term? I'm like diplomatic about it than I am sometimes. But yeah, good guy. He's got a good channel. Definitely go over and show some love over there. So. Okay, so he's in an ICU right now in a vent and dialysis. Yep. That's a bad place to be. Carol's asking how far their teeth penetrate in regards to Niles. Not far at all. I mean, as you can see in that picture, I'll pull that picture back up for you. God, it takes me forever to find stuff. I need a better filing system for my photos. As we go, it's just going to get worse and worse. But yeah, let me put this back up. So yeah, putting this picture back up there after, of course, showing that video of the bite. I mean, you can see how they don't have very big teeth at all. So it's not like a dog bite, a cat bite, a prairie dog bite. All are much worse than a Nile monitor bite. Like you seen, the only thing was some pinholes on there. And another thing to point out too is you'll hear people talk about monitor lizards being venomous, or whether my understanding from a biological standpoint is that they've got some type of venom gland, and I've not researched it enough to know for certain, but I have heard people say that have studied them that are pretty reliable, that they've got some kind of a venom gland. And I guess it's supposed to be like maybe an anticoagulant or something like that. But I have been bitten by this guy several times when he was younger, a couple times as he was larger. Of course, this last time. And you can see in that one video, I didn't touch my arm before showing it. And you can see where it's just covered in his saliva. And I didn't have any adverse reactions to it at all. Again, this is a 6-foot Nile monitor. had a bite where he hung on for, a good minute or so, completely drenched me in lizard spit. There was enough broken skin there that I know it got into my bloodstream. I didn't have any itching. I didn't have any prolonged bleeding. I had no redness or swelling outside of what you would expect from having a 6-foot lizard clamp down on you. So some people may have a sensitivity to it. I don't know if it's just because it's so medically insignificant or what. But anyway, just something to touch on. But yeah, I mean, their teeth don't go in very far. Which is like I said about the hacksaw thing. Those teeth they're about as long as hacksaw teeth are. As long as they're just sitting still and pushing in, you're going to get little holes in you. But the second they get a good shake in and a twist, yeah, they'll cut the skin right off of you. So they're not bad. Let's see. Yep. Let's see, talking about that. Okay. Yeah, see, goes back to my point, John. And when John puts a video out on this, it'll be a good one because, like I say, he's good at touching on delicate subjects. Yeah, it's that's a thing, man. That's a consideration when if he passes because of this. I mean, it is what it is. He knew the risks and ignored them, and pretty much chastised anybody that reminded him of the risks. So I really have a hard time finding any real sympathy there. But, when somebody passes, it's not them that you got to think about at that point. It's a family. So John makes a really good point there. If he does pass, and, you guys see it as if he doesn't survive this, it really is time for the memes to stop. The family members aren't going to want to see something like that. Yeah, we can all look at things differently and do things differently and stuff like that and not agree with it. But, once something gets real like that, it's, if it does happen, it's time for people to kind of go, okay, yeah, let me back off and not make fun of this guy because it's really going to hurt his family. So. Yeah, and that's a good point. Yeah, you really gotta watch that stuff when it's serious. Hey, not reptile related, but I want to share that I got my 30-day sober chip last night. That's awesome. That is a big deal. And I know I don't touch on this often or at all, really. But I mean, a lot of you guys know my background. I was military for a long time and a prison guard and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Had a pretty interesting life. But for instance, like when I was in the military, I would go out and close the bars down a lot. That was just part of the culture, man. We drank and drank and drank and drank. And it didn't help that my ex-wife was a blistering alcoholic her whole life. And it didn't help me step away from it at all. But it wasn't long after I got out of the military in 2005 that I just kind of stepped away from all that. And I really don't drink now. I mean, I think the last time I think I actually had anything to drink was at Retic Fest last year. And and it wasn't even really that much. I think it was maybe a beer or two, and somebody passed some shots around. But I mean, I pretty much don't drink anymore. And I will tell you that you notice it, and it still sticks with me to this day. I remember the first few months after we quit partying, quit going to the bars, quit drinking so much, that you really do balance a lot better. I found myself emotionally a lot more stable when I stopped drinking, and it's noticeable. It really is. Not to be over dramatic about it, but I mean it's really good for your peace of mind when you stop. Um, so yeah, congratulations, man, and stick with it. You will not regret it. Believe me. I have absolutely no desire to drink. Like I said, I mean, once, twice a year, maybe at an event, I might, drink with the guys or something. And especially at 51 years old, man, I just don't recover the way I used to anyway. So, I mean, I used to be able to close bars down at 3:00 and then get up at 6:00 and run 7 miles and be perfectly fine. Now, if I was to close the bar down at 3:00, you wouldn't see me for a week because I'd be laying there with a hot water bag on my head with a hangover from hell. So yeah, man, congrats. Keep it up. Definitely. So, let's see. Got a lot of good words for Ray. Ray says, thanks for love, yo. Absolutely, man. A lot of us have been there. A lot of us have been there. Erica said she jinxed herself last year saying she hadn't had a food bite in over a year. And you got one last night. Dude, another thing I wish I would have had on video. Lilith back here, the Jack Pondro, came at me for the first time today. And today was feeding day, and I'd been, taking out food and stuff like that. She had a shed. She was laying right on top of it. And she is normally so chill. Ever since I've had her here, I'd go in there, I'd open up the door, and she would just kind of look at me and mosey off somewhere else. I could just reach in. Man, I opened up the door, and I went in to go get the shed. And she swung at me and stopped like an inch from my nose. She just about bit me dead in the face when I was up there in the enclosure. It's another bad thing about having enclosures at head height, man. When you open up the door, you're right there. So yeah, don't feel bad. I almost took a bite today too. Needless to say, I didn't have any anticipation if she was going to refuse food. So. Let's see. Yeah, DW here is in the medical profession, so she's really up to speed with what happens. She's talking about dialysis being used to stabilize his condition. There's a lot of muscle tissue breakdown. The kidneys can't clear on their own. As that venom starts to break down the tissue, your body's got to get rid of it somehow. And if there's a lot of it, it can be bad. So yeah, if you see anything coming up in the chat and she's talking about anything medical, that's what she does for a living. So good source. Yeah, and John was said he heard the same thing about monitors, and he saw a thing about Komodo dragons actually having venom instead of bacteria. And of course, that sent you down a rabbit hole. Yeah, I mean, that's a I just seen something the other day on Komodos as well that downplayed the toxins in their mouth, whether it be venom or bacteria. I guess there was more studies done on it, and they found that it's not as debilitating or toxic as the old wives' tale may have led us to believe. So I don't know. All I know is that my experience with getting bitten by a Nile monitor, I have had no toxic effects at all. So, and I mean, I don't have anything that I'm allergic to. I am really kind of sensitive to bee stings now. So I would think that kind of sensitivity may carry over to any other kind of toxin I may get in my system, but I don't know. Really good point. Really good point Kara makes, is that everybody deserves a chance to do things differently. I hope he survives. Yeah, I mean, if he does, I would hope that, I mean, the guy's clearly got a lot of experience working with venomous snakes, or this would have happened a long time ago. He's clearly got some knowledge. Maybe if he pulls through this, it'll be a humbling experience, and maybe exercise some more caution. Maybe he'll end up being a great spokesman for free handling venomous snakes, and why not to do it? So we can always hope for the best. Always hope for the best. Let's see. I do need a co-host, don't I? Just realized I don't have one. And you know what's funny, man? I know we all talk about not handling our snakes right after they eat. These guys all ate in here today. Of course, Chloe ate too. And I just happened to go over and open up her enclosure because she was running up the glass. She darted out of that enclosure and just wrapped around me with a fresh meal on her. So it's perfectly fine. Let me go get her. I'm sure she'll want to come out. You coming? Let's see. Come on. Come on, come see me. Get this over here. Come on now. Come on, crazy girl. You're trying to fall. Stop it. Okay. God, I just cleaned her glass too. She is so active in there, and she just destroys her glass in no time. Okay. Co-host found. Put it down a little bit so you can see her better. She's the important part. She's a lot better to look at than me. So. All right. Where's your head? What are you doing? You know the drill already. Come on. You got to say hi to everybody. Are you going to say hi to everybody, or are you just going to be goofball? Huh? Crazy snake. Yeah, so for those of you guys that don't know, this girl, she's my only real rescue. She is a lavender female reticulated python, and just the sweetest animal in the house, I swear. Never had any problems with her. I'll go over the story really quickly about how I found her. Somebody had just mentioned that there was a retic that needed a home. So, of course, I contacted them and found out when I got there, she was in a fish tank with, well, it wasn't a fish tank. It was one of the exterior enclosures with the, side opening, side hinge doors on it. She was in there, no heat, no water. It was cold. And the place was just, somebody was in the process of moving out. The house was empty. Cockroaches all over the place. It was just completely disgusting. And I went in, opened up the doors. The hide was way too small for her, so she's all hanging out of it. So I just picked the hide up and picked her up, and she just immediately came up and laid up on my chest like this and just stayed there. And warmed up on me. It was really surreal, you know, like she was just happy that somebody was there and she didn't have to just sit there and die in that box. So I brought her home, got her cleaned up, got her put in this enclosure over here, and she has just been a gem ever since. This is the sweetest animal, just really highly interactive. I mean, honestly, if there was ever an animal that I've got here that just shows like they're happy to be alive and grateful, I know I'm anthropomorphizing, but that's what it seems like, you know, because she's just such a sweet animal. So that was that's the story behind her. And she's a good girl. And she's going to probably be a pretty big girl too. So I'm actually not too far away from the time when I'm going to have to get her a bigger enclosure and get her out of this cabinet that she's in. She does really well in here cruising around. She gets all kinds of exercise, but she's going to be outgrowing it pretty soon. Hey, Caesar made it. Good to see you, sir. Let's see. Yeah, snakes evolved from a monitor lizard type animal. So yeah, I could see how, you know, it kind of had to start somewhere. I don't think with snakes, it just kind of started on its own. It may be just a vestigial thing, maybe from the ancestors of today's monitor lizards, but it's hard to say. It's one of those things where I think you really have to find somebody that absolutely knows what they're talking about and look at the research to figure it out. Alex was saying at the first video on my Nile Monitor series, I had to clip from Clint's. Yep, my favorite Clint's reptile. If you guys don't follow him either, strongly recommend going over there and checking out Clint's Reptiles. He's actually a biologist. I'm trying to remember exactly what his discipline is. The ecologist, maybe. But anyway, really sharp guy. Puts out some really cool stuff. And when he did the videos where he rates different reptiles, and he rated Nile monitors. And my favorite line from that series is when he says, if you're watching this video to figure out if the Nile monitor is the right pet lizard for you, it absolutely, positively, with no uncertainty, is not. And he is absolutely right. They can be rough to work with. They can be great, but they can be a challenge. Oh yeah, the milk snake eats like a champ every time. Hasn't refused once. So yeah, she does. She's really going to be an impressive girl. I mean, she's a good-looking girl now, but when she really gets big and gets some mass on her, she's just going to be a stunner. But it's really funny because she's my only retic that really has a lot of climbing stuff in there, and her belly scales, I know you guys can't see it, but they're really rough. Her whole belly is so rough because she spent so much time climbing around on those branches that I put in there for her. So it really kind of feels funny to handle her compared to, you get used to retics feeling a certain way, really smooth, but yeah, she's so active that she goes through some belly scales. Yeah, Lilith is a sweet girl too. For the new folks, Lilith is the Jagpondro. She's a green tree python and jaguar jungle carpet python hybrid. And that jaguar gene has really messed her up. She's got some muscle tone issues, some equilibrium issues, and things like that. So she's a sweet girl. But yeah, she handles a lot differently than the other snakes because she doesn't have control of her muscles quite as much and has a hard time kind of balancing her head. But she is a sweet girl, and she's gorgeous. And she just had a big meal tonight, so I'm not going to bring her out, but I'll make a point of it. I was going to feed tomorrow, but like I said, we're going up to the bird park photograph tomorrow, so that's an all-day trip. So, hey, Betty, good to see ya. She's going to get Greg. Greg and Barry, pretty good folks. Yes, I'm still bleeding. I don't know. I can't. It'll stop at some point. I've got the fan blowing right here, so I'm just waiting for it to dry up. I scraped myself when I was cleaning enclosures today, I guess. I guess that's when I did it. So you're just going to keep me cruising the whole time, ain't you? But, yeah, I don't know. I got something on me. It wasn't an animal bite, so. Panther, good to see ya. Yeah, this snake is really going to be a great ambassador for events and stuff like that. She's just got such a sweet, positive demeanor. She's going to be really great. Hey, Mike, good to see ya. That's right. Thank you, Alex. Yeah, he's an evolutionary biologist. Let's see. Here I go, falling behind again. Hey, octopus with no friends. What's up? What's up? Good to see ya. Alex was talking about milk snake being the first snake to get, and make a good point. Milk snakes are a pretty good first snake to get. They actually are. They're really quick. You got to be really careful with them when they're babies because they're small snakes and fragile. But you can handle them and calm them down. They're real easy to manage. I keep mine on aspen substrate, and I like to get through there and swim around through the substrate and stuff like that. He's been a great eater, and they don't get really big either. So, what are you doing? I'm gonna stop. Let's see. I was gonna pull over here, find me. Gonna find the videos from Monty for today. Here's the one picture. I'll share this one. This is for those of you guys that don't follow me on Facebook. There's one I posted earlier today. Got Monty outside. So crazy transitioning over to photographing reptiles. I know it sounds funny because they're so much easier to photograph than birds in flight. But see, the thing about photographing birds is as long as you're locked in on them and you're tracking them, just about any picture that you get is going to be fantastic. You really got to get creative with the snakes because there's not a whole lot of diversity of action with these guys. I mean, you see them one of two ways, with their tongue in or their tongue out. And I don't really have too many trees nearby that I would trust them in to put them up. The one tree that I used to photograph them in a few years ago ended up dying and had to be taken down. So that kind of sucked. But yeah, that was a picture from earlier today. Yeah. How common is getting scrapes when cleaning enclosures? It's the same as doing any kind of work. Scrapes happen. Oh, thanks, John. Yeah, it's going to get better too. I definitely want to start focusing on getting some really good reptile shots. And all the stuff that I'm doing outside with the nature and wildlife stuff is all going to help. I'm going to start getting some pretty stunning stuff. Let's see if I can find. I've got them in. Got the videos in Premiere. I'm going to edit some together. But hey, you want to go over here and go back to the house? I gotcha. Yeah, a lot of times I can let her go and she'll just roll right back up into her enclosure, except this time she's gone the other way. No. Go home. All right, Monty video. Which one do I want? Like I said, a lot of this stuff isn't edited yet, so this ain't too bad though. Get over here. I've actually had this snake upstairs here a couple weeks ago. And she was my co-host on a live stream. But this girl is she's 17 feet, 80 pounds, motley female reticulated python. And I've had her since she was about Chloe's size. So it's been a great experience with her. She's just been a sweet animal all the way around. So we can get that. Go walking around over there. Yeah, this is something. If you're going to keep these big snakes, it's really advisable to make sure that you're taking them outside, letting them get some exercise and some sun and stuff. They really do benefit from it. And sometime before it gets too cold to have her outside, I am determined to really get a good shot of her iridescence. And it's almost impossible to capture, exactly what it looks like when you're out there in the sun looking at these guys. But yeah, I definitely want to see if I can. This is a good one. I'll put this one up. How do I do this? I do it like this. You can kind of see the iridescence a little bit here. But this girl, especially if she's not anywhere close to going into shed, then God damn it. That's not it. I stabilize all these videos in Premiere. So that helps. I know I've got one that shows her really well. I don't think that was it. That was the first one. Maybe that was. But yeah, anyway. So that was her. That was our time out here with her today. I'm collecting now, just like I did with that last wildlife video. Starting to collect some photos and videos of the animals out interacting and stuff like that. So that's going to be a lot of good B-roll and stuff like that for the videos as we put them out. So let's see where we're at. Yeah, Kara was saying the bald eagle is beautiful. Makes you excited to see more wildlife photography. If you are interested in that, and I know this is something, I mean, most people have been pretty positive about the whole wildlife photography thing. I mean, I know it's primarily a reptile channel, but I mean, God, I've got almost 3 years worth of snake videos on here. I'm going to continue to make some new content as far as the snakes go. But I'd really like to expand the niche out and add the wildlife photography, add the viewership to here. And I think it's been pretty well received so far. It's not getting the reach yet that I would like it to get. But let me pull up the website. So we've got, I spent this whole episode sharing screens with you guys. So this is the Intrepid Exotics website that we put together, and there's still some tweaks and things like that I need to put on here, but it's there. Kind of go into what the philosophy is and things like that. Now, most of the stuff is all going to be on the YouTube channel, but I do have the wildlife photography tab right here. And anytime I get any kind of a decent shot that's a keeper, and I'm getting quite the collection right now. Let me see all these pictures of just about friggin' everything that you can imagine. This right here is one of my favorites. Everything in here is all stuff that I've captured out in the field. This one just blew my mind when I brought the camera back and I started looking at it, of these two great egrets up in the top of this tree jockeying for position. And the final edit on that thing just came out so good. And there's a bald eagle. One of the fairly decent shots. But see, with this guy, he was, I'm using a 150 to 600 millimeter telephoto lens on here. And he was 400 meters out at least. And that thing's cropped in 300%. So that's, if I was to get any closer, it'd completely pixel out. But the same location, like I said, is really popular for having the bald eagles around. So we're going to, this fall, I'm going to get some killer National Geographic level bald eagle shots. You know, the ospreys are pretty easy. These guys, they come up really close to you. They're always fishing right in front. But like, this is a dam that these guys all catch the fish that get stunned as they're coming through the dam. There's a couple black vultures. But yeah, man, it's you know, most of us that like reptiles, we like other animals as well. So yeah, I thought this was a good thing to add to it and give us a little bit something to break the monotony. Let's see if I can find anything. Like this is one of the birds that's out at the Sylvan Heights Bird Park. It's a pigeon, believe it or not. Can't remember. The Western crowned pigeon. Got all that. But yeah, I mean, you guys, if you're interested in this kind of stuff, you can cruise through and check out some of the stuff that we've got on here. I spend time at the zoo as well, getting some stuff out there. So one of the ones that I'm most happy with, shot at a lion. Yeah, I try and capture these things too in such a way that you can't really tell you're at a zoo. So I want it to look like it's coming straight out of a safari. And so far, so good. Hadn't been too bad. Been getting some good stuff out of here. Yeah, this is one of my favorite shots of the osprey carrying a fish. This is the scene that's in the video. I caught a video of that and then stopped the video and started taking pictures as it was flying away. But anyway, yeah, it's www.intrepidexotics.com, and you'll see the wildlife photography tab right there. I need to keep adding to this. I just now remembered this, that I started adding the section for all of the animals that we've kept here. And I actually need to change this up a little bit. Oh, here you go. Here's the Jack Pondro that I was talking about for you guys that haven't seen Lilith. There's some rough scale green snakes, our jungle carpet python. There's a little milk snake. One of my favorite pictures of Monty. That is Chloe right there. Our Sri Lankan python. So yeah, I need to finish adding some stuff into here. It's Charlie, our common boa. The Florida king snake. Western hognose. Tigger, our big purple tiger reticulated python. Our albino berm. And our Aru green tree python, who's back here getting ready to go to shed. I rehomed this pied ball python and actually still got her. But yeah, so I'm going to put some details in there about them, stuff like that. So yeah, it's a work in progress. Yeah, just like anything else. Go down. There we go. So yeah, there'll be a whole bunch of stuff coming in here. Yeah, I do need to bring Charlie up. He's been lazy lately. Oh, hey. Hello, Gloria. New River, Arizona. I used to live out in Phoenix. So, good to see you. Oh, yeah. I'll show you guys that really quick, too. We got a little bit of time before we... Well, one of the cool things that I'd seen going out to photograph was, where is this? I don't know where it is. Might have to find it. Excuse me. It was on my phone, but maybe I've got the video on the website or the picture. God, I know I've got the picture somewhere. Keepers R5. It's got to be in here somewhere. But it was really neat because I was sitting there just waiting for something to fly up, and I see something wiggling around in the water's edge, and it ended up being a water snake that was maybe this big around, that had a fish in his mouth that was about that big around. And I know I've got that picture somewhere, but I can't just sit here and browse through pictures and all that. But I'll see if I can find it. Guys, definitely, if you're not following me on Facebook, send me a friend request or a follow or something like that, because A lot of times as I encounter this stuff, or if I get really good shots and stuff, I'll post them on Facebook. So yeah, it's a good place to just kind of keep in touch. And if you got questions and so forth, you can hit me up there. And also after the live streams on Saturday, for our contributing Patreon members, we've got a Zoom meetup that we do where we just got the recurring link set up, and we'll all go on, have a Zoom call. It's a good opportunity for everybody to show off their animals and see what everybody keeps and so forth. We got some really experienced keepers on there, some interesting folks, and it's just a good group, good way for everybody on the Patreon page to kind of hang out and stay in touch and so forth. So, and we do that, like I said, every Saturday after the live streams. So, that's Hank. Talk about a fella named Pecos Hank. He's a storm chaper, but a field herper too. Huh, cool. Sounds like an interesting fella. I may have to check that out. Yeah, these ospreys are really cool out here. And there's so many of them out there at the dam. I spent the longest time camping out this pair of ospreys out here at the local lake, just trying to get a decent shot of them going in and diving. And couldn't get it. I got out here to the dam. As a matter of fact, I'll show you just a segment of the video that can pull up this one. Stop, too noisy. It's one part where I caught this one coming down and catching a fish. Friggin' amazing. Come on, where are we at? Okay. We'll play just this one little segment of the video right here. You guys can see this is the last video that I posted. It was the wildlife stuff. Volume down there. Love getting up close and seeing that stuff, man. It's just, I literally sit out there all day and never get bored. Your head is on a swivel the entire day that you're out there. These guys are just, there's a picture right after he was taking off with it. Okay, but I don't want to replay this whole thing, but the wrong button again. I'm getting so bad at this live stream stuff. But yeah, that was it was really cool. And this fall, like I said, based on everything that the photographers out here at this place told me, it's bald eagles doing that stuff all day long. So we're gonna get some hellacious video out of that place, for certain. Oh yeah, that animal. I think I just ended up seeing him at the. I don't know. I think I'd actually seen him at the bird park. Yeah, ospreys, they're more active mornings and evenings. That's the best time to do the photography out there. That's why When I go out to the dam, it's an hour and such away from me. So I leave so that I'm getting there right as the sun's coming up. So yeah, we'll get Charlie out. We'll have to do that pretty soon. Let's see. Oh, hey, Bert. Good to see you, man. Man, yeah, I know it. And weekend work. Crazy. Tara. Hey. Much appreciated. So here's some support, dude. Love these lives in the Zoom. Appreciate everything you do. Now dance, dang. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe one of these days you guys may see me dance. But like I said, I don't drink anymore, so. Nice. Gloria is getting her first retic Tuesday. Awesome. And I'm sure by dork you mean dwarf. She's dwarf adjacent. That's awesome. And retics are great snakes to keep. Absolutely great. Yeah, it's a good point. Hey, Turtle, good to see you. Don't forget to like the live. Hit the like button. Oh, yeah. I'm fluent in autocorrect and typo, for sure. And, and God, this is something I've actually spent a lot of time going through Clint's videos, trying to find that really high-pitched super chat thing that he says, and I just can't find it. Because I was going to steal a little clip of that. And then every time a super chat came up, a little Clint Laidlaw was going to come out the side of the screen and go, super chat. But maybe one of these days I'll find it. Remember watching one of his live streams and he does it. I'm stopping it right there and recording it. So. All right, guys, we're coming up on 8:30. We've got to get the Zoom call started. Again, if you guys have got any interest at all, I'll go ahead and put this link up for you guys for the Patreon page. It's definitely a huge help to the channel, and like I said, especially now, if anybody's been on the fence about jumping on the Patreon, now is the best possible time to do it. Typically find new jobs pretty quickly, but it's still stressful either way. But yeah, the Patreon community has been a big help through everything over the last couple of years. Definitely here lately, you guys are really a lifesaver. Especially since I figured it out the other day. I've got like $250 worth of subscriptions and things like that associated with streaming services, editing services, all this other stuff. So it does help. It does make a huge difference. Helps with feeding the animals and all that other stuff as well. So definitely very helpful. So, oh man, or you say probably watched every video on retics I've made in here. That's awesome. I really appreciate it. That's why we do it. Definitely why we do it. Yeah, I didn't do the USARK thing yet. I need to do that really quick before we go because I do that every time. For those of you guys, I know there's a couple new folks on here. Let me just go hit this really quick. If you aren't familiar with USARK, you need to get that way. And it's my understanding there's actually some new legislation coming down in Louisiana that's got some bans involved in it. So USARK.org, this is the group that watchdogs legislation. And lets us know when people are trying to pass laws to ban animals or pass bad regulations and things like that. They correct massive misinformation that gets out there, just like that salmonella fear that was going on not too long ago. They put out information on that. And they are really the voice of animal keepers down in state legislatures. So go to USARK.org, go to the memberships tab, jump down, do as much as you can. You know, I think most people do the $40 a year bronze membership. There's more options. You can do more. Whatever you can do, the numbers really matter. And the way we always explain it to folks is if Phil Goss goes up to the state legislature and the organization has 10,000 people behind it nationwide, they're going to laugh him right out of the building. If he goes up there and the organization has 10 million people nationwide, then they're going to take it more seriously. So the membership numbers matter. Money matters too, because lawyers and lobbyists are not cheap. Traveling all over state to state is not cheap. But membership, if that's all you can do, that's all you can do. You can do more, great. So make sure we're all over USARK. And on the 13th, I think it is, I'll go ahead and post the link on my Facebook page for you guys too. We are going to be going on with Gary Tarpley from Constricted and Addicted. It is going to be Gary, myself, Nicole Tisdale from Lady Tis Exotics, Chris McVicker, who is a reticulated python breeder, and the Retic Lounge guys are going to be on there. We're going to be doing like a round table talk about reticulated pythons. So I will definitely put that link up there, make sure that it's up beforehand. So jump in there, show those folks some support too. And we'll be in there talking retic stuff. So I'm going to go. For those of you guys, I'm going to take a few minute break before we jump on the Zoom call. For everybody else, have an outstanding, safe rest of the weekend. I really enjoyed hanging out with you guys again. And we will see you again next Saturday. And now that I've got a little bit more time on my hands, definitely look for a video this week because time is no longer an issue immediately. So, so you guys have a great week. And we will see some of you guys at Patreon on the Zoom call pretty soon. And the rest of you guys, we'll see you next Saturday. Take care, guys.